Okay, people, welcome back. This is a bit of a video about these Chinese-sourced brake levers for the R7. They've come in this packaging from FXCNC. This is a label, if it helps for anybody out there, if they want any of these. I got them off eBay. They were $30, arrived within about 7 days, I think. And I just wanted to point out some things, and we'll talk about the elephant in the room, which is Chinese brake levers and things, and whether or not I will use these or keep them as a spares item. But we're going to cover a few different things, and I will start out by talking about the fact that you will hear so many different stories about Chinese brake levers. These are a particularly common style that you'll see around eBay and Amazon. And maybe people have horror stories, etc., etc. So that might be the case. But all I'm going to talk about is my own viewpoint of these, my own experience of these in the past, and what I think are maybe good about these and what might be bad about these particular brake levers. I kind of got them as a bit of a whim. I wanted to see the quality, see how they are nowadays. And I say that because I used pretty much identical set of these on my SV650 racing bike for probably 4 years. I might have gone through 1 or 2 sets due to crash damage, but never had any failures of these themselves. And my question to you would be, and maybe comment below if you have, but have you ever actually had a friend or someone that you know who's bought these and there's been some actual failure with the lever itself that caused a crash or an issue, etc., etc.? I never have. I know these are looked down upon across the biking community by some people, but I've yet to find somebody who's actually had some dramatic failure with these. But that just be because of my pool of people that I know. Either way, what I will say is, even when I used these for my racing, and trust me, I was a very heavy braker when I raced. That was probably where I made up most of my time. I wasn't so great with throttle application, but I could pretty much outbrake, the people that I needed to outbrake. And so, again, I put these through a lot of stress in the past, and these have turned up, and they actually look very nicely made. They've put some effort into the finish of these handles. The clickers, nice and solid, easy to operate with gloves on, not some twiddly little thing, but easy with your thumb. Even when you're starting to line up for a race, trust me, I've needed to click 1 or 2 positions to get my lever back. So that's a good thing. The one thing I will say, and you've probably heard me say this a few times before, I don't trust the fasteners that come with Chinese equipment. They might be fine, but I don't particularly trust them. And so what I tend to do is find a different solution of my own. Now, I wouldn't use this bolt because it's not stainless, and so it would rust easily. But this is the kind of thing I would look to replace it with. And I'll take you on a little tour maybe later as to where I'm going to get mine from. But this is a fully threaded bolt through here. And so you imagine inside the barrel there, all the pressure goes onto these threads. I would rather have something where I've got a solid shank around the bolt, which I cut down, so I've got sufficient threads for the nut on the other side, but where all the pressure is actually more evenly spread along a shank like this, rather than along the threads. So I'm going to find a bolt, stainless, that has this shank, and I'm going to cut it down to size and replace this bolt. Because this is the thing, right? If this fails, I'm still going to have brake leverage. If this fails, I've got no brakes, and that's a problem. The reason I don't particularly trust these heads, if you look closely, things like the Allen shape there isn't actually in the center of the head. And if you try and get a hex key in there, it doesn't actually fit all that well. That side does, but that one doesn't fit in. So if you've got quality issues like that, what about the rest of the bolt? So something like this with a nice thick head, known to be sourced locally with some better regulations might be the answer. The other particular thing that I've noticed so far, so this is my standard lever right now, so forgive the huge great bolt, but it's holding this together momentarily. This is the original lever, and I've pressed out the bushing that goes through there. I thought I needed to do that to fit these brake levers, but actually you don't. This is the pin that goes through that standard bushing there. Okay, so that just sits in there and holds the brake lever inside the master cylinder. And on this particular type of lever, it's kind of a built-in thing. So that pin is a bit tighter on these units, but goes in there. So you don't need to be pressing out the bushing from the standard lever. I know that's upside down, but anyway, it's a bit tighter in there. I think that will just wear itself eventually to be a nice snug fit. So that's one thing to bear in mind. And then the other thing, which I don't think will be a problem, but this is the actual pin that operates the brake master cylinder. That goes into a recess in the Brembo master cylinder, and that sits in your lever. And on this version, there is quite a bit of up and down play within the lever, like that, you see? Now, it might not be an issue because there might be pressure coming upwards always from the master cylinder, and so there'll be no gap there when you're applying the lever to take up. I was wondering if there would be that gap there, and as I pull on the lever, bunk, I get a little bit of play before it operates the brake, but I'm hoping that the pressure from the master cylinder is actually keeping that in place. We will see. But yeah, overall, the main reason I wanted adjustable levers was actually for the clutch. The standard clutch lever is non-adjustable on the R7, and I was finding it very uncomfortable at times to operate. So I will definitely be using this because, hey, if this, if there's a failure on the clutch lever, it's not such a big deal. So I'm quite happy to use this adjustable clutch lever on my bike, no problems. The fact that one's black and one's silver was more my vanity that I wanted to sort out. So I'm definitely going to use this, install it on the bike, maybe swap that, I don't know. But this was the one I was more interested in. How's the quality? Is it going to fit nice? And so far the quality is looking good. I've used these before, like I say, no issues. So I'm going to carry on. I'm going to fit this to my bike and have a go with it, see how I feel. And I was going to purchase 2 sets of adjustable levers. These from eBay, and also the what's it called? Womet from TST Industries, but they're out of stock at the minute, so can't do that. So anyway, that's what I'm on with right now, and I'll be back with more soon. Okay, so here we are at Ace Hardware. Gonna look for some stainless bolts. So we're gonna go in there. Look at this weather. It's horrible, snowy, sleet, rubbish. We need to get rid of this and get some summer back, please. So here we are inside the hardware store, and you need to go and look for all these drawers full of screws. Here's the metric cap head M5s, and I managed to find the right one. And these are nice, what are they? $2.59 each. Yay. Okay, so we've got the new bolts installed. I actually bought 2 of these so that I could do both the clutch and the brake at the same time. And they're looking much nicer. Got much more faith in these than the Chinesian bolts. So I'm a happy boy, and these are ready to fit onto the bike. Okay, so we are back at the bike, and I just thought I'd show you a little bit about the brake master cylinder on the R7. If you take the dust cover off of the master cylinder, you'll see there's like a dimpled piston, and it's this piece, where is it? This piece that makes that connection into the dimple to do the braking for us. And that seal just sits in there, keeping all the grime out. And the aim of this lever then is to get this all back in there with the pin through here. And so I will do that, and I'll come back to you when it's in place. So there we have it. The brake lever is in place. I did apply a smear of grease, just general purpose grease, to this pin through the lever, and also on the top face and bottom face of the lever where it goes into the master cylinder. The good news is that I was right, that this part here is always pushing into the lever. So as soon as I move the lever, it moves that piston into the master cylinder, so that's good. And you can hear it applying the brake switch so that the brake light will work, which is always a good thing. And so the other thing I wanted to show you was the range of movement on the adjusters. So I get my tape measure. You can see that our bar end, lever end, is approximately 3 inches or 70 centimeters, 7 centimeters, 70 millimeters from the end, and that is on position 6. And if we click that all the way to number 1, bringing the lever closer to the bar, we now have approximately 2 inches, 5 centimeters and 50 millimeters. So an approximate range of 1 inch forwards and backwards. I'm just going to leave mine in the middle, so 4-ish, and I'll see how that feels when I get to ride the bike. But again, so far everything looks good. Everything's, looks well designed, fits well, feels good in the hand, and I'm a very happy boy at the moment. I'll give these a try out, and we'll let you know. I'm just going to go do the clutch side, and I'll show you that when that's installed too. Okay, so that went in really nice and easy. It's just a simple case of taking the nut off the back of this bolt, popping that out, really winding this inwards to give yourself a little bit of slack on the cable. Pull the lever towards you so that it comes like that. Once it's clear of the assembly, you can then twist it upside down and then pull the cable out. And then installation is just reverse of that. Put the cable into the notch from upside down, spin the lever, slot it into there, making sure that you get the clutch switch to work. Or get the clutch switch located behind there, and then tighten up the nut, and jobs are good. And now, when you're adjusting the cable, again, you can see that mine is quite slack, or a little bit slack anyway. And so I'm just going to reduce that. So I've got some free play. You want a little bit of a gap remaining so that it's not overly tight and pulling the clutch all the time. So yeah, just going to wind that out a little bit. until I see a visual gap there. Yeah, so I can still see a visual gap, not too much play in it, and there we go. So this was the key for me, having an adjustable clutch so that I really don't have to reach as far as the stock lever. So yeah, that's good. I might get out on a ride soon. It's, as you saw, nasty weather at the moment, so I don't know if I'll get to road test these soon or not. But I just thought I wanted to cover the basics, and I wanted to talk about the use of Chinese levers. Are they a good idea? That's for you to decide. I've shown you what they are. I've shown you some of the ways that you can make up for any issues in the quality of the fasteners. You can go and get your own. They do serve a good purpose. I've used them for years with no problems, so I'm going to try them out. If I don't like them, if I don't feel safe with them for any reason, then I'll upgrade to some other ones. But for now, there you are. They're all fitted, fit well. There's no modifications really required to the levers, drilling holes or anything like that, which I've seen on other systems. Only the bolt change, and we're good to go. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you think I'm an idiot, or if you think I shouldn't be using these. Love to hear your opinions. And thanks for watching, guys.